I'm Madeline McGuire and I'm from Alabama.
Alabama and Alaska are similar because they both begin with the letter A and end with the letter A. The people are fairly the same except for with different accents, and they're a little bit more outdoorsy, a little bit more fit.
In Alaska?
In Alaska. First I applied to get onto another trip that was offered by the Science Center, and I didn't get into that, and I was really upset. And then a couple weeks later, I got an email from the leader of that trip saying that they needed one person or a couple people to fill in spots on the Wetlands Ecology and Media expedition, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna go on that one. Well, I hope I am, because I'm gonna apply for it. So I decided that I would apply for it, and I got into it, and now I'm in Alaska. My favorite teaching memory was when we were learning about the nest islands, and muskrats took over and destroyed the whole nest island, and now they didn't have a safe place to stay because the eagles could attack them easier. And so that was my favorite part of learning about that, because we could actually do like a hands-on thing and try to dig out the trees and then replant them onto the nest island. The first time I ever saw a glacier was on this trip, and we actually got to see it calving. It was a really awesome experience because I've never seen anything like it, and it was amazing how all that ice can be like just sitting right there, and it breaks off, and how the climate affects that. And I also got to roast hot dogs for the first time, and that was my very first experience doing that. And it was my first time to be able to walk through a pond without getting soaking wet because we had our waders on. And my first time playing in all of the mud and doing penguin slides down through the mud. We also learned about what the specific animals that stay there are, and the birds and their calls, and how the beavers affect the wetlands and how their beaver dams are, and very important to the wetlands. To conserve the wetlands, people can learn more about them and teach their kids and teach their communities and their families all about the wetlands, so that way they'll want to conserve the wetlands too. This trip has really benefited me because I've been able to learn more about the wetlands, which I don't get to learn about, and I've also learned more about how to conserve the wetlands and why they really need to be conserved, and why we should not develop on any of those lands and on the Forest Service land. And also it's benefited me because I've made friendships that'll last forever.